that attracts no interest. This is what we used to make every Friday. Can you give us 3 million naira so that we can acquire the space beside us? So that every Friday we'll be paying into your account certain number of money. And that is why I said work itself can be a debtor and can be a creditor. Next slide, please. Zakatable wealth. It is not just anything you own. It is not every part of your wealth that is zakatable. And it is not everybody that has the quality. You are not qualified to give out zakat except you have the following. The few zakatable wealth mentioned by the Quran were gold, silver, crops, and fruits. Earnings of trade and other business enterprises, and what is drawn from beneath the earth. The Prophet ﷺ was assigned with the responsibility with his sunnah to convert the theoretical axioms of Quran into a living reality in human life. Allah says, and we have sent down unto you the message that you may explain clearly to people what is said for them. Because I brought in this verse so that we will know that there are some explanations about zakat that may not be found in the Quran except where? Except in the hadith. Except in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, next slide. The meaning of wealth now. Allah said, "Khudh min amwalihim sadaqatan wa tutahhiruhum biha." Take from their wealth. Then what is wealth? Allah said, take from their wealth. Then what is wealth? The word amwal, khudh min amwalihim, is a plural. It came as a plural form. It means wealth, property, and good possessions. In the Arabic dictionary, it was defined, that is man. The singular form is man. It was defined as all things one owns, all things one owns. Everything you own is called wealth. Don't forget that you own your children. They are your wealth. And they are not zakatable. Don't forget that you own your house, your personal house, which you are residing in. That is your personal property, which is not your business. So anything you own, Quran used that word amwal because the village Arab use it to refer to their livestock. They call their livestock amwal. They call their produce amwal. And the people in the city, they call their gold and silver what? Amwal. That is why Allah brought this the word amwal in the Quran. Next slide. The Jewish expression on amwal. What is amwal? There are discrepancies between the school of thoughts. Anafite says, man is everything that a man acquired and usually uses. Anything you acquire and you use it from time to time is a man. The Shafi'ites and Malikites, the Mazhab Imam Malik and Imam Shafi'i consider services as mal. Chartered accountant, auditor, your service also is your man. For this person, Allah bless this man. He has a wealth of knowledge. That means that knowledge is what? Man. Services, they define it as man. According to them, acquisition is not a condition, but possibility of obtaining the source of man. The possibility of obtaining the source of man is what we call wealth. Ibn Nujaym said, man is what can be obtained and saved. What we can obtain and saved. To be used at the time of use. For the purpose of this, our discussion, man is material things. Man is what? Material things. Forget about your children. We are talking about material things. Forget about your service. We are talking about the material things derived from that service, because that is where zakat and waqf applies according to this our discussion. Next slide. What qualifies those amwal for zakat? Number one, we have 6 conditions. The following 6 conditions determine the zakatability of the wealth. Number one, undivided and absolute right of ownership. The wealth must be your own. The wealth must be your own. Don't misquote me. Allah owns us and whatever we have. Allah is the owner of everything. But Allah made us what? An agent of what He has. So the man Allah gave you must not be divided between you and someone. And what we mean by that is that it must not be a public asset in your possession, like tax, zakat, and others. Using this kind of public funds to perform religious rites and thinking that if you do it, Allah will forgive you. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you go to Hajj, man hajja bimani harami, if you perform your Hajj with unlawful wealth, and you enter the Kaaba, you are saying, shouting, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, oh Allah, I answer your call, oh Allah, I answer your call. Allah will say, la labbaika wa la sa'daika, I'm not answering you, and you will never succeed in life. So, the undivided and absolute ownership we are referring to is that the wealth must not be a public asset. The wealth must not be public trust, like orphanage home, like mosque, like school, in your possession. You can see that you are not the owner. The property must not be unlawful wealth. Unlawful wealth. If you go to Hajj, you see that when we want to perform our tawaf, the Kaaba is built, and there is a space in front of the Kaaba that have like this. They call it Hijr Ismail. And they said, if you want to tawaf, you must cover that Hijr Ismail. It was because that Hijr Ismail is part of Kaaba. But when the Prophet ﷺ was 35 years of age, and the Quraysh were trying to gather well to reconstruct the Kaaba, they restrict people who are doing unlawful business from contributing. And the little they have that time, they use it to construct Kaaba and left it like that. So it must not be Yahoo money. It must not be theft, counterfeiting price. The money you earn from drugs and all these things. This is because Islam did not want to encourage anything bad. Number 2, growth by reproduction, profit, and multiplicity. The wealth we are talking about is the wealth that is growing. Your personal own house is not growing. Am I correct? Your personal car is not growing. So they are not part of the wealth that qualified for zakat. Let's go. The third one is reaching the minimum of zakatability in a sum. We have a lot of discussions on this. The condition for camel is when you have 5 camels and above. You have 5 camels and above, you are qualified for zakat. 30 cows and above, you are qualified for zakat. 40 sheep and above. Look at that sheep. During those times, they use 8 sheep to exchange 1 camel. And that is why we have 5 camels and 40 sheep and above to qualify for zakat. 5 wask of grain. The measure of the grain you must have when you harvest must be Amsat Ausuk bags. That is 5 bags of grains. We call it Ausuk. It is not like our own 50 kg bags. What we refer by wask, according to scholars, consensus of the scholars, they say 190 130.56 kg. 130.56 kg is 1 wask. So you will have 5 of it. 5 of it will be equivalent to 653 kg. Once you are having 653 kg of rice, this 50 kg is going to be like 13 bags, approximately 13 bags. To Imam Abu Hanifa said it's not 130.56 kg, it's 190.2 kg. But the majority scholars say it's 130. We use that. One was contains 60 sai. It is not our normal mudu. The mudu you use for observing your fitr, zakat al-fitr. When you have 60 of it, that means you are having 1 wask, and you must have 5 of it and above. This is qualified for zakat. Next slide. Exceed essential needs. Before you will say you want to give out zakat from your wealth, fine, you earn the property and it's more than the sum. It's more than the average, the minimum and the sum that you say you should earn before you can qualify for zakat. But you are a debtor. You have to pay your debts. Unfortunately for you, an incident occur. One of your closest relatives, your family, is sick, and they say they want to pay for hospital bill. And they say you are the only person they have. You dish out from this your property and give it to them that they should take care of it. After taking it out, it goes down from the result. After paying your debt, it went down from the result. That means it is not exceeding your essential need. The wealth must be exceeding your essential need before it qualifies you for zakat. Number 5, freedom from debt. I've mentioned that. Don't say you want to perform nothing. When you go to the mosque, you never observe you never observe asr. You now say, it is my practice that I used to do 4 rakah before Zuhr, 4 rakah after Zuhr, then before Asr 4 rakah. Let me do the 12 rakah before I now pray Zuhr and Asr. They will say you are mad. Do the obligatory part before supererogatory. When you are owing someone, you are owing people, and you are paying for someone's hajj, someone's umrah. If you are the one going to, they will say you will never return back. So you should be free from debts. Completeness of ownership, excess above reserve after paying debts. Next slide. Then passage of a year. That wealth must pass 1 year. 12 full lunar months should pass from beginning of the ownership or past due date of zakat for zakat to occur again on asset. Once you have given out a zakat on a wealth, you must count another 12 months before you give it out again. Restricted to what? Livestock, money, and business assets. I deliberately put this clause there, and I will explain it. This condition is restricted on business assets or any used for storage of values like money, treasury bills, etc. There are variations among companions and the followers of it on the condition of passage of a year. Condition of passage of a year, some said the hadith narrated on this point was not authentic. Why must you wait until you pass 12 months on a wealth? Contractors, consultants, when you are consulting a firm and they pay you a huge amount of money, 20 million, 30 million, and you now say, by the time I use this money for 12 months, that is when I will give out the zakat. Mind you, when you did not give the zakat, you go to Hajj, you go to Umrah, that is car, you carry your girlfriend to South Africa from the money. The money did not do 12 months. Another year again, you won another contract. Before 12 months, you lavished it. Why don't you assume yourself as a farmer? Quran said, وَآتُوا وَحَقَّهُ يَوْمَ حَصَادِهِ. On the day a farmer is harvesting, straight away he's giving out his zakat. As a contractor, as a consultant, as a professional, you are aiming at getting this kind of opportunity from time to time. If you spend 1 month, you never do say, Baba Amakanjola, Edapeba Belong. Now, when number of belong, what did you do after earning it? You begin to travel all over the world without giving out zakat. That is why some scholars said, no, this kind of earnings should not do 12 months, because the argument was that they confirmed the hadith that narrated the 12-month passage is not authentic. And again, Ibn Mas'ud, Ibn Abbas, and Muawiyah affirmed that once an asset acquired reaches in its soul, even on the day it was acquired, zakat should be given without waiting for the passage of 12 months. Yeah? What the constitution simply implies is that it should be given on that asset a year. The condition implies that once in a year, once you are giving out zakat on that asset, you will not give it again until after 12 months. Not that you should wait until those kind of assets spend 12 months. And that is why we are lacking behind in paying out zakat. On the day of judgment, how much is 13 bags, 14 bags of rice? It's not up to 2 million naira. A farmer that is earning 2 million naira is giving out zakat. A professional that is earning 500 million naira has never given zakat because he was waiting for it to spend 1 year. So farmers give their own every harvest once it reaches nisab. Some scholars in their wisdom said that there should be no zakat on debt because the debtor does not own it and the creditor has no control on it. When you collect the money that even past the nisab and you are using the money to make business, what you are earning on that business is not up to the nisab of zakat. When they say what is your worth, what is your worth? If you are calculating your worth together with the debt and your profit, that is when they will see you like a big man. Let them remove the debt. You are not more a millionaire. So if that is what is happening, that money you borrowed, even if it is more than the nisab, you are not giving out zakat. And for the person that borrowed you the money, he doesn't have control of the money at that particular time. That means there is no zakat on that work. People of different opinion on the other hand agreed that the debtor must pay zakat if the time to refund the debt is up and he deliberately delayed the payment. If you did not pay your zakat, if you did not pay your debt, you own the money. You are supposed to return the money back to the owner. You have made your own and you deliberately did not return it to the owner. That means you must give out the zakat on behalf of that asset from your own account, not the creditor. Next slide. Meanwhile, Abu Ubayd reported from companions like Umar and Jabir that a debt whose creditor has confidence and hope of receiving it back is zakatable. When you have the confidence that this money is coming in this month, pay zakat on it. Grants and savings of employees should be treated like a debt, which the creditor is confident on receiving it. If the employee can dispose or retain it at will, right of the employees are not mere ground and can be cancelled by employer. When you are promised in your working place that you are receiving a grant, by God's grace, inshallah, before the end of Ramadan, don't assume that grant is coming in. The organization can change your mind. If you think you want to give out zakat or work on this kind of grant, make sure you wait for it because the organization can contain their mind. I'm running up. Zakat on accrued assets like salaries, wages, grants, windfalls, profits, hits, etc. Profits of business assets and upstreams of already owned livestock are added to already owned capital and livestock for calculating a year's zakat. When you are preparing to give out zakat, 5 of your cows gave birth. Don't say, they just gave birth to this cow day before yesterday or last week. Once it meets that time before you give out the zakat, you are counting them to be part of it. When you want to give out zakat from your wealth, unfortunately you receive a grant at that time. Unfortunately you receive a gift of like 20 million naira for that time. You better add it to your asset and give out the zakat. Ibn Mas'ud, Ibn Abbas and Muawiyah are of the